9 years after the events, the horror that happened to George's family will be erased. Their memories come back when they face the most dangerous demons. The Other World starts the movie. When they are there, Joshu brought his family to his funeral, and the chickens were all there. They're very sad. And after they finish, he thanks God, his ex-wife, because they separated during the past 9 years. Years passed, and we saw that he grew up and became a painter. After they finished, each one of them walked away. The relationship between Josh and his son Dalton is not great. It's good because they erased the memories. It was between them, and they will only remain in their memories. It's Dalton, the relationship with his son. And she sent him a message this week. The next one, after a while, Dalton responded to him and told him, okay. And when the time comes, we will see an army on its way. At school with his son Dalton, and he was trying all the way. He emulates his son and lightens the atmosphere. Then they go to school and miss it on the room where he was going to sit and looked like 2 stars. He hangs up the drawings he drew for his mother and sisters, and the army is surprised that he always makes time for his family and sisters, but only for a while. What happened was difficult, and the road was far away from them. Suddenly, she misses their name, and she tells them she's his roommate, and he's been a little annoying because we believe that it is Grass's name for a young man, and that it is you go to solve the issue and then you walk away. Dalton attacked his father by telling him that he was one selfish, and the best thing his mother did was him. She breaks up with him, and Josh is shocked by Dalton's words. He leaves him and walks away, finished and very sad. She stays with him today until they solve the problem again. One day when they are in drawing class, the school asks. One of them is to close their eyes and draw something that comes out from their heart. I lost them. I found a person drawing something. It was strange, as if he had something under his control and kept drawing. And suddenly, I find he can't stand anyone, and he actually enters on the camera. But after a while, it suddenly turns off. The light was on him, and he kept calling the doctor, but nothing. Someone responded to him and kept pressing the hateful thing in his hand, which is what the doctor told him. As soon as he felt tired, he would press on her, and he would come. He has it immediately, but despite all this, there is nothing his benefit. Suddenly, something strange appears to him, and he becomes afraid. But then this thing disappears and comes back. The light turns on, and a chicken comes out of the device. Immediately, he goes outside, and when they see the doctor, he misses asking him what happened. So he tells him what happened. He is angry that he has an hour when he is calling for him inside, but he doesn't answer him. But the doctor is surprised. He tells him that he saw him from outside and he was sleeping. It took him a quarter of an hour to see the doctor. The result of the x-ray tells him that everything is fine. His condition is normal, and the doctor asks if they have it. It's done with the family diagnosis of any condition or condition. A psychological problem causes the Army to decide to file a lawsuit. This is his father because his mother was also separated from him. His father and his father were doing the same thing to him. With Josh, let him go back to his room and take something he has to paint it, wipes it, then hangs it up and stays. He looks at her, and suddenly the light goes out, and he is afraid. So much darkness that he had a phobia. Out of the darkness, he immediately goes to turn on a flashlight. He found a handprint on the yacht and was surprised. Suddenly, I found the ghost attacking him. But first, don't miss a study of the room. Everything disappears. She tells him that the administration is in a room upstairs and asks him. He goes with her to the party they are already having. He goes there and hears someone's voice in the bathroom. It was as if he had 2 illnesses. And when he left, I found his appearance strange, terrifying, and insightful, telling him to close the door. Leave it alone. He stops his work as soon as this approaches him. The person is afraid of Dalton and runs away immediately. He comes home, sits to draw, and listens. The voice message his father sent me, they told the army that the doctor had left and that it was him. He loves him a lot. After a while, we meet Dalton and him. He fell asleep and moved to another dimension. Josh is shocked and tells her that something is impossible for them to happen. He leaves her and gets up but wants to have his second son. He tells him that his brother Dalton sent him the drawing. Josh didn't understand or remember anything. And we can see that Dalton sent a message to Grace. He uses astral projection and finds a hammer. What is in the drawing becomes real when they are carried. I find a situation has happened to the father who follows their house. And I see the situation of him and his little one was that his mother, brother, and uncle were afraid. They ran from his father because he was chasing them to get rid of him, on them, and Dalton tells his mother that he will try to astral project and find his father, and he will fall on them. He was carrying a hammer and was just going to hit Dalton, and Kabir attack him, and he will be finished. But suddenly, he finds himself moving to a place, then a ghost appears in his face, and then he disappears. A plant was carrying a group of lights. The little girl tells him that she knows that he is afraid of. It's so dark that the whole room will be lit up for him. Suddenly, he disappeared from her side, and when she got up to see him, she found him. He is sitting on his side crying. When you approach him, until she sees what's going on with him, he's going to talk to her. It looks terrifying, and she is very shocked. His father feels that something is not normal and enters too, through astral projection to see it. And in fact, I found him trying to break the tied chain. There are bells in the room, and you are trying to wake up. Dalton suddenly looks strange and terrifying. He falls to the ground as soon as he comes and breaks track. He tells her that they must walk quickly because he is the devil. He was going to follow them, so he would take it and they would go. All the lights around Dalton's body, and she sits down by text. And the door thanked him and his son at the last moment. It turns off when there is a lot of people around it. Ghosts are haunting Dalton's body. But she holds on to it tightly, and he begins to remember his condition. Back when he was with Dalton, he was young, and he decided he sacrifices himself and tells Dalton that he will walk immediately. He started to keep the door locked, and he loved it a lot. And indeed, Dalton returns to his body and his father. He is still at the door and hears it knocking. You tell him the truth, but he doesn't appreciate me. It takes more control than that, and suddenly I find the door open. He gets drunk with a black talisman and learns that he is Dalton. In fact, he is painting the entire door with color. The lions are quite drunk on them completely. He saves his father with another. A moment later, we see George come out. The box contains pictures of his father, and I know that it is his father. He was alienated from him, and he does not know what he was like. He suffers. Then he sees his father in front of him, and they are both happy that Josh finally wakes up. Dalton calls his mother to check on his father. The movie ends, and here the movie story ends. If you like it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all new updates.